So one thing I want to clarify about is that when I was saying I was hitting Carson in the face when he had rhabdo, I was just, hitting him in the face like this, like tapping him in the face, basically, and just trying to get him to wake up because, when your kids, you don't know what's happening to them. It's a scary moment, so you're going to do anything and everything to try to get their attention. But, I was just like tapping him here, tapping him on his shoulder, and, at moments there was nothing, just, a stare look, or there was nothing. And anyway, so they finally came back and told me that his kidneys were functioning fine, because rhabdo can damage your kidneys. It can shut them down. It can cause kidney failure. You can be on dialysis for the rest of your life. But his kidneys were good. But they did say that he did have rhabdo, but his numbers for his kidneys were good. So that was a relief. But he was still so sick through the night. He threw up. His arms were still pried like this. He couldn't, just get up to go do anything. He had to be in a wheelchair if he had to do anything, as far as go down the hall, or they just wouldn't even let him up, period. But we finally got him out of ICU and then got him to the room. And what was the craziest thing is the nurse told me that there's another kid that was 14 years old, 2 doors down from him, that had come in from rhabdo from football practice the very same day. And I was like, what? Because this is the first time I'd ever heard of it. And as I said, I've been a coach for 27 years. We've always studied heat exhaustion. We've always, known about CPR, but never had I heard of rhabdo. But Carson ended up having to be in therapy for a year. He still goes to therapy now. He literally could not lift a Coke bottle over his head, or a water bottle over his head, and he would literally be like this, doing it. And I'd be like, are you serious? Thinking he couldn't do it. Thinking he was but he really wasn't. That's how weak his muscles got. That's how bad it affected him. He has arthritis in his joints. There was times where, he tried to play football and he looked like an old man out there running. And I had to wrap him in so much stuff to get him, to get better and try to get him faster. And, he's still to this day very scared. And, but, everything he does now it affects him. So he has to be very careful. But tomorrow we'll be talking about what rhabdo is and the effect